Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust indeed. Phoenix is out of the way, and I think the discussion is going to be all about that dog leg.
Yeah, the discussion should really be the aggressiveness.
Yeah, going through the dog
Yeah,
leg.
yeah,
Oh,
that was definitely interesting. Um, we had quite a few cautions. Um, it in the BRP series, it was pretty brutal to watch, and it was even more brutal being a part of.
yeah, that is one I am glad I was not part of.
Yeah, it felt like a 1 mile Daytona race in an official lobby. So,
Yeah, y'all didn't give
yeah,
me much of a chance to even catch my breath between cautions, so didn't
yeah,
really have a chance to review anything live. I mean, about time we'd start reviewing the restarts. We're back under caution again.
right.
So,
Yeah, yeah. It's
and of course the
hopefully.
track is what mile long, 3/4. I can't remember
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, it's a mile long.
So yeah, not a whole lot of time under caution to even catch a break to under caution even to review stuff.
Yeah, no, it felt like caution would come out, we'd catch up with the pace car, and then we were doing 3 caution laps
Yeah.
every single time,
Yep.
maybe 4, pending lap down cars, but
Sure.
yeah, it went by pretty quick there. At least the caution laps did, which is nice because we had a massive amount of them. Um,
Way too many of them.
yeah, big time. Um, 15 to be exact.
Ooh, 15 was the final count.
Yep.
Damn.
Um,
Which
that
okay,
was which
so
was
100
also
mile or sorry 100 lap race. Well, I guess 100 miles if it's mile track. 15 cautions. That doesn't leave a whole.
111,
Well, that's true
111
because we had the three
race.
green white checkers.
Yep.
So
But yes, so technically we would have 14 without the stage break,
true.
but actually no, because there was an incident right before I had thrown the caution, so it still would be 15.
Still would have been a caution even if there wasn't a stage break.
Um, and then, but yeah, we were under caution for 58 whopping laps.
So half the race was done at sub race speed.
Yeah. So, um,
Perfect.
yep. It, like I said, it was definitely brutal. Um, your throttle pedal or your throttle foot, um, definitely got tired after the first few, just going under pace.
Oh sure, because it's not the natural position of either on or off the throttle. And I mean, obviously you got to do a little throttle control through the flat corners here at Phoenix, but like, okay, that's maybe a third of the lap, if that you're really doing that. The rest of the time, it's either all the way out or all the way in the throttle.
Yeah. Not to mention, it was, you could definitely tell that there was dust on the track because it was slicker than shit.
Well,
Hard to
the
pass.
as I
There,
recall, the usage was something above like 75% or more, and the
yeah,
track temp when it started was about 120. So
yeah.
you guys got no relief from either of those metrics this week.
No, not at all. It was definitely a scorcher. Um, and it's a shame really because it is a fun track. Um, you know, um, I just I think there was just lack of practice on everybody's part. Um,
Yeah, coming off the
I
Thanksgiving holiday, I'm sure that's probably ate into people that normally practice on the weekends.
yeah, and I mean, I I was involved in more than I wanted to be involved in, but like I would they even showed it in the broadcast. I was slipping and sliding under qualifying. The broadcaster interviewed me, before the race, and he was like, it would look like you were out there at Eldora, you
Yeah,
know.
we can go pull up
So
your qualifying lap here. Just
yeah,
hopefully it'll actually go back. Oh, of course it won't go back.
no,
Lap 5. That's the problem. Is when these races run too damn long, these replays don't always keep the qualifying. I've noticed. So
yeah,
come on, guys.
right, yeah, no, but no, I was in a four-wheel slide. Somehow still made a, I don't, somehow I still made a lap time. I don't remember quite where I started the race, but I'm pretty sure I was like 16th or something. So I definitely scrubbed a lot of speed off. But
Let's see. You started 16th.
yeah, so but yeah, it's I don't know, I will say this, the that Busch Light, that orange Busch Light car looked pretty badass out on that track.
Well, yeah,
But
because I could actually see it. Been struggling with with this damn trading paints thing, and only the Xfinity cars. Because I've gone into some public lobbies with the NASCARs and the trucks, and obviously we have the zombie series that I see most everybody's paint in. But for whatever reason, the Xfinity cars, it does not download half the cars that are on track.
yeah, yeah, and I don't know. There's one of the cautions right there.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, no, it's looking at that wreck, um, I am so thankful that Phoenix is as wide as it is,
Yes.
because I would definitely, if you know, if turn 3 had banking like 1 and 2 did, I would have been involved in that wreck, because I would have lost it trying to go onto the apron.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of room. You can see that most of the field gets away from that because they're able to go hide
Mm-hmm.
down low. Well, until somebody clobbers the outside wall there.
Snaked his way through. But yeah, no, like I said, it's a shame because it's a really fun track,
Right.
And it all comes back to this damn tire model. The previous model, was great here, at least in the truck series.
Yes, and just from running the trucks, I've never been a huge fan of Phoenix in the trucks. I mean, I have definitely gotten lucky the 2 times we've been there now since this series started. Because I walked away with a 5th this season. I think I may have got away with a 4th last season. Both not by happenstance of running necessarily the best all day, but just keeping clean out of trouble.
Right.
But I have to say, just on the tire model side, I know for a fact I had less fun with this tire model this time around than I did last time.
Yeah. Yeah, you did finish 4th last year. But no, yeah, it, I don't know, even in the trucks, last season, I mean, I put on a damn clinic, and
Oh yeah.
just, I tried to manipulate the line that I ran last season in the trucks in both series last week, and for the life of me, I could not. It's just either was too hot and slick, not enough grip, or it just all of a sudden flip it, do a 180 and just start being a dump truck.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll be happy, hopefully, knock on wood, when they add a new tire model, because this one, in my opinion, is just garbage, and it's affecting the racing, and all of that good stuff, because most tracks now, I mean, at Phoenix, you can get that second lane going pretty good, and in both series this last week if you weren't on the bottom, you were getting freight drained. Um, as you'll see right here.
Oh, easily.
So and
That bottom lane was gold, and that's why
yeah.
everybody was fighting for it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we had some crazy dive bombs that were a little, well, not even a little, that were just overly aggressive. But it's like that was the value, is that bottom lane was worth everything.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's it is what it is. We drivers we're supposed to adapt, but some of us are, including myself, are taking a lot longer than anticipated. Um, and just every week I feel like Tony Stewart, just complaining, bitching, and moaning about these damn tires. Because Goodyear is not bringing good tires this season at all. And I will tell it to them straight to their face.
So do we got to put Home Depot on your car or Office Depot?
Well, it's already orange right there, so.
You're halfway.
Yeah, but no, I had a little bit of a run-in with my teammate. Almost retaliated under caution, and I had to refrain from it. And I told him straight up, a couple days later, you almost got the boot under caution. But then, I just came back to, I'm the one, me and you are representing this league. So I don't want that shit going on. And
oh, and we've both been there last season at Martinsville, man. I came barreling in to give a retaliation to somebody before getting called off last minute.
Yeah.
So it's heat of the moment. You can definitely get a little bit see the red. Get the Toro going there. You're sitting there, okay, well, not happy about it, but sometimes you just gotta bite the tongue, wait till after the race to talk it out.
Yep. Yeah, and and I still blame him, because after that had happened, we were both running inside the top 5, or right at the top 5. And we were going forward, and he owned up to it. He misjudged the run that he had, and the hole between myself and I believe it was Brad Collins closed up really fast.
Yeah, it was you, your teammate, and Brad. I remember that one because I had to go back and watch that one because that was a hard hook.
Yeah. and like I had told, I don't remember who it was in race, but had I been using a VR, I would have gotten sick. It's like right there, that slide right there is about what I did in qualifying.
Yep.
But no, it scared the hell out of me because I was not expecting it whatsoever. I had a pretty good run off of 2. There was no saving it. I mean, it just instantly, as soon as Hanrada clipped the 67 of Brad Collins, it just instantly spun me around, and I was facing the opposite way. Not to mention it was in a lighter load bearing part of the track,
Right.
And I didn't actually cut the dog leg there, even though it happened in the dog leg. I was still on track. But no, it was definitely there. Yep, right there. That's where I was going after him.
Right, so if you're going after him here, let's back it up.
Yep. Yeah, my ass end's all torn to shit.
Here it is.
Yep. Yeah, right here. So, this is
on a restart.
On a restart. And, I had stayed in 3rd gear. I didn't shift to 4th. So I had a huge run off of 2. Right here, I mean, you could just see me closing the gap on the 7, and then boom, just calamity. So
yeah, just a misjudged move there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, It's definitely one of the more violent wrecks that I've been involved in, surprisingly. And I almost skated by, um, but yeah, so then, I mean, obviously there, my car was junk. I had to use my quick repair. And then it just all went to shit from there. I was in the hornet's nest after, and we're on the second half of the race, so obviously the intensity picks up, and you know, I was involved in many, many more. That was the first caution I believe that I was involved in.
Yeah, that was the start of your bad day, I think, right there.
Yeah,
The first half
yeah.
of the day, I mean, I think other than I think you made contact in one of the other cautions, but it was not minimal, and it was I think a door slam as you're going through with
Oh
somebody.
no, yeah, no, yeah, yeah, no, no, no. I definitely that's right. I definitely dumped. Um, uh, I Stephen Black. 100% dumped him. That was totally on accident, and of course I apologized after the race. But I misjudged his breaking point, and um, it was one of those things. It was towards the end of the stage. And obviously business is picking up then, and
Yep.
so yeah, no,
Yeah,
that one was
trying to get
100%.
everything you can get, and
Yeah, and I was moving forward, and like I said, I just missed my mark just by a hair, and locked him up. I was running a lot of rear brake to get this thing to turn on the long run, and
just after the fact. But
yeah, but yeah, so it as far as I am aware, everything's okay between us. So, but yeah, that was just a racing incident, as well as the previous wreck that we were watching. And but like I said, though, that uh, the wreck with myself, the 67 and the 8, that was kind of the start of the bad day, because I was consistently running, um, in the top 10, top 5, and especially, I kind of figured out a little bit, how to get faster on the long run and save a little bit of tire, throughout the day here. And, so I was on the longer runs once the tires got a little bit of air in them and a little bit of grip. Um, I was able to move forward quite a bit. I mean, prior to, uh, the stage, yeah, it's 40 laps. Um, I went from 16th to third. Yes, there was, some cautions that helped, people pitting, um, under those cautions, and all that. But that entire first stage, I stayed out on old tires, and so, um, but yeah. So I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I mean, I scrapped for my eighth place finish that I somehow managed to get down on power. Um,
yeah, at the end of that, you're hanging on, and you were doing everything you could to just stay out of trouble, and you know, basically work like a vulture, take what was given.
yeah, yeah, it was definitely a challenge. It like I said, the second half of the race, I was involved in way too many cautions, and it was just wrong place at the wrong time, misjudging where you think the wreck's going to go, um, and um, uh, another incident where I almost retaliated, um, but I feel like I got a little bit of justice, a little bit of payback, on that incident. towards the end of the race there, last few laps, I had run the person, I'm not going to call him out, but I had run the person wide, never made contact with him, but it was, he hit the wall off of 4, towards the end of the race. So, but it was a mirror, almost a mirror incident with, with Hanrada, minus the fact that it was just 2 of us instead of 3. Actually, no. I believe I was making a pass on somebody when that had happened, and it was in the dog leg, and guy went down, cut the dog leg, and then I don't know if he got loose or what the story is, but I haven't really talked to him since, but he cut the dog leg, came up and cleared himself, and was not clear and hooked me. And that was, I believe, like shortly after I had used my quick repair. And
the timing. I remember the timing of that one was.
That was very, very unfortunate.
Poor.
Yeah, but
I don't even remember what lap it was, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Problem is, there's so many cautions in here. It's like I can't remember what order everything went in. I just know that it seemed like all day we were spinning.
Yeah, somebody was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is. It's Phoenix, but we'll move on. And like I said, never quit, never give up, because like I said, there was what, like, still 20 some people in that race, and somehow miraculously I finished 8th, so with a very torn up race car, down on power, these cars, they idle at about $2,000, and I was down to about 1,700, 1,600. So, and the only thing that saved me was the fact that I believe that I was one of the only ones that started shifting in the corners on old tires. And I was on old tires.
Yeah, you were on old tires, you're doing the shifting, and we didn't really get a long enough run that it amplified to become a problem.
No, that one, that was, like I said, that was pretty rough, but, we'll move on from it and head to Atlanta this week and try and challenge myself to save a little bit of tire from, there.
At Atlanta, so, that's a chore.
Yeah. I've got a couple tricks up my sleeve that I'm hoping I can figure out. It just depends on how loose or tight the track is. But we'll see how it all plays out. And then, the truck series, that was a lot better of a race than the BRP series was. Had a shot to win that one late in the game, and made a very rookie mistake and caused, like, the last caution. I had it came down to it looked like it was going to come down to a fuel mileage race, and again, I was running.
Yeah, there was about 5 of us that were all running some form of a fuel mileage race strategy. Yeah. There was the 3 ahead of me. I don't remember who it was offhand. I'd have to go pull that replay up. I know Hanrada was one of them. I was sitting in 4th, and you were about a second and a half to 2 seconds behind me. And I remember for that last stretch, you and I were back and forth. Man, I don't know. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I mean, I've got, let's say, this many gallons left projected. And, man, I really wanted that one to run out green because I had a feeling, and I was talking to Henrada afterwards, that they were saving fuel, but for how hard they were pushing earlier in that run, I don't know if all three of those guys would have survived to the end. I think one of them probably could have, potentially, but it would have been entertaining to watch them to start dropping like flies the last couple laps, because I was down to, I think, a lap to a lap and a half to the good by the time that caution came out at the very end for that green-white checkered.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely would have been interesting for sure. But at the same time, we both knew in the back of our heads that the caution was going to come out, and it was a matter of time. But we had a really really long green flag run there, and it was looking promising, and the stars just weren't aligned there. But I think I was, by the time the caution came out, I was going, I was about 5.5 seconds behind you. And I had reeled you in a few seconds, but I was also monitoring my fuel mileage, because, you can sit there and, run a certain pace to save fuel, but as soon as you pick up that pace, you're going to burn more fuel.
Yeah.
So there was, it was like 2 laps I'd go hard, and then, back it down a lap, and then 2 more laps, back it down a lap, and, but
you had to find that happy balance where you're going to make it, but you can make lap time.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah, so and then obviously, you can't really shift, because that's going to burn more fuel.
Yep. Yeah, your fourth gear lugging the thing out of the corners.
Yeah. So, but anyways, so I when that caution did come out, I took 2. It worked for me. Last season, I would alternate 2 to 4. So I took 2 tires, and a couple people in front of me had pitted under green, raced their way back onto the lead lap, stayed out under that caution, inherited the lead, and I think I had restarted second or third, and then a caution happened again. I think it was the first time I had started second, and then Henrada got me. So then the next caution, restarted third, and got a pretty decent jump on Henrada. We were racing really hard, and then he got me off of 2. I just got a little bit loose, and then going into 3, I got back into the gas a little bit sooner than he did, and I had to check up because I was going to end up spinning him out. So then when I checked up, I was so close to that yellow line that when I checked up, it pushed my car to the left a little bit onto that line, and in turn 3 and 4, you don't think that there's that much, you don't think there's banking there, but there is enough, especially when you take 2 tires, and ultimately, it came around on me, and then that kind of ended my chances for the win, as well as Henrada's, because that one finished, under caution. So, but it is what it is. Just hard racing, going for it. And I was trying to make up for the unfortunate luck that we had the night before.
Right, sure.
And but yeah, it was a lot more fun. Aside from that green flag stretch that we had saving fuel, obviously that's never fun. But it was pretty fun. It was a lot more fun than riding around under caution in the BRP series was. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Atlanta for the BRP series. I won't be running in the truck series. Definitely will be adminning because I am going to be a race control for the e-signature Cup Series championship race right after our truck race on Thursday. So be someone who's not biased, fresh face, not in good with any of the championship 5, I believe, that they have this season. So
an independent adjudicator.
Yes, absolutely. So that'll be fun to watch. I've picked up here and there, never watched a full race. It's going to be a long race. It is, I believe he had said, was like 200 and something laps, so at Homestead. So
you better buckle in and bring an extra case of beer with you.
I'm gonna need a energy drink or something after sitting here for an hour and a half admitting.
Yeah, really, we're gonna be your warm-up dish. You're just gonna be like, no, I'm not throwing that caution. We gotta go. Yeah. Half the field spread across the track.
Pretty much. Yeah, but it sounds like me and him talked. Me and Jason talked a little bit last night, and it sounds like they do a lot of the same stuff that we do as far as rules go. They're a little bit more strict with people at fault, incident points, and so on and so forth. So, but other than that, I'll have some help. It'll be me and one other person.
But also, they're not necessarily touted as a learner series either. I mean, you kind of want to be in there knowing what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah, they've actually got a an iRating requirement limit. You have to be, I believe, like 22 or 2400 iRating, and I believe an A class or a B, one or the other, to run in that series. And then they've actually obviously got tiers for each other series that they have.
Sure.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting. We talked quite a bit last night about what we want the future to hold for both of our organizations. So, and we're both sponsored by BRP. So it'll be fun. It's going to be a long night for me for sure. But anyway, so back to the BRP series. We also had another issue with somebody who actually got kind of the boot.
Yeah, let's wind it back here to
the yellow number 80, which he was not. That was not his paint scheme.
Yeah, this is one of the cars, for whatever reason, I have not been able all season to download.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. It's just Trading Paint's hating me, I guess. Yes.
Yeah. So
this was the most egregious one, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's where the replay starts.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
what we got going on here? Let me see if I can get a blimp here. What had happened is, coming out of 4, this is more or less what they looked like. You had first, second, third. I think it was first through 6th, or first through 5th, that were single file exiting turn 4 before the green flag.
Yeah. So, that was obviously a big no-no for us. And I was sitting not too far behind uh, and I saw it. I saw a string of cars that were single file well before the line, and so I was like, nope, that's definitely not going to fly. Well, everybody got warnings. Everybody but that yellow number 80 stopped right away. And he continued and continued and continued. We should have black flagged him at the time. Thinking about it now, but ultimately, we ended up ruling that we would take the win away and give it to the person that finished second, which was Dalton Kilroe. And after having conversations with him and affiliates, he doesn't really abide by rules anyways. It wasn't his first warning with that, so we just thought it best.
This was the second week in the row he'd been warned about the rule specifically.
Yeah. So
actually, this may have been the restart because I think it didn't start until closer to the stage break.
Yeah. So he gets a good jump and then straight to the wall.
Yeah, this is the one actually we were talking about here, where everybody first through fifth or sixth all came to the line.
Yeah.
The ruling states that you can't change lanes regardless of where you're at in the jump before the line, and you've got in this shot a single file line, which should not be the case.
Right, and everybody that's on the outside, they were not in the wrong whatsoever because they obviously did not change lanes.
Correct.
But everybody on the inside, and it's a monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to also. So, and it's one of those things where the first couple times it didn't really get caught. So obviously then, well, if he didn't get caught, I'm not going to get caught either, kind of thing. So, but they did.
Yes.
And like I said, it stopped with everybody but the 80. So he is no longer with us. He heard some bad hurt feelings about him, and so I'm not gonna sit here and talk shit about him or anything, but just thought it would best to part ways. And it sucks because he only ran 2 races with us, but in those 2 races I could already tell that rules don't apply to him, so and we don't really have the patience or the time for that, so but all in all, it and actually come to find out, he was in the Coca-Cola series last season.
Really?
And he was in that series for a month, and they booted him because of this. He was a rule breaker, risk taker. Yep. Found that out last night as well from our friends at eSignature. And
because the one thing that I took away from the discussions that took place post race was that it was evidently clear that he had not actually read the rule book or understood what was going on in the rule book to at least a minimum, since he had to be asked by somebody to switch to the driver and race control channel after his first warning because he was called out, as any call-outs do. I run down the numbers real quick, boom, boom, boom. These people are getting warnings for, restart violations. And he completely missed his first warning, I guess, because of that, apparently, from what we've learned after the fact.
Yeah, he, and I get it, because he's a streamer, he's a heavy streamer, but at the same time, it's in the rules. Obviously, we have to be able to communicate. Um, and when that cannot happen because you are muting yourself or muting chat, it becomes a problem. AKA, he kept telling me he only got warned once, and as soon as he got warned, he stopped doing it. So, but like I said, it is what it is. Hopefully going forward, it'll be a little smoother. Everybody knows the rules by now, or hopefully everybody does.
And now, though, going forward, just so we don't have people taking advantage of the rule, it is a no questions asked. You change lanes if we're gonna black flag you for it.
Yeah, there's no more warnings now.
Yep.
After last week, there are 0 warnings given for anything anymore. If by now, like I said, everybody should know the rules, and if you don't, I strongly encourage you to go read them. They are on our Discord. It does not take long to just skim through, because
half the book is based on like how we award points, which you don't need to know how to race essentially.
Right, unless you want to,
right.
But even the week to week stuff, that, and it goes back to last episode that we had talked about. We kind of brought this up a little bit, as most of the stuff we say goes in one ear and out the other if it makes it to that ear to begin with, and it shows every week.
Yep.
You've always got somebody that we have a pre-race meeting, drivers meeting, while everybody's gridding up and everything, and and going over, when stage break is, and stuff that, makes me sound like a broken record because I repeat it every single week, and it's just stuff that's in the rules, and then tire allotments and all that good stuff. And it never fails, within the first 10 laps of a race. What stage or what lap is stage break on? Or
shoot, we won't even get to the green flag sometimes before we get that question.
Yeah. So, it I don't know. I can't. I can't be any more clear. In those drivers meetings, but I think what I might start doing is going under race control, that channel, in iRacing, and talking through that, because that'll go over everybody, whether they're talking or not. And
well, that's not supposed to be a mutable channel, right?
No, it's not.
So then he has 0 excuse for not. Anyway, moving on.
Well, I don't know if it is or not. I think if you mute chat in general.
Oh, you mean? Yeah, that's true. I guess if you just hit the mute on all of iRacing chat, yeah, that actually would probably kill it.
Yeah. So, but anyways, it. I don't know. It sucks. I don't like giving people a boot, but sometimes it's necessary, and in that case, it was necessary. So, but, moving forward, this week should be pretty interesting. Like I said, we got 2.5 miles coming up here. Both have really high tire wear. The truck series on Thursday night. Y'all are doing 65 laps at Atlanta.
Yeah, the trucks that'll wear us down.
Oh yeah. And you're gonna have guys that are just gonna treat it like Daytona and Talladega and burn their tires up early on, just holding it wide open. Obviously, for people like myself, that's not the way to go.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, so I'm thinking stage break will probably be around lap 16, 17-ish, something like that. But yeah, like I said, hopefully the track is not a slide fest. Hopefully it's got a little bit of grip for you guys. And then for the BRP series, obviously we're at Atlanta next week as well. And 1 second, let me pull it up here. We are doing 82 laps, so almost 20 laps more, and with a lot less downforce and a lot more power.
Yeah.
So those ones will be sliding around, I'm sure. But
Now, are both those day or night? I haven't looked at that. I haven't looked at the BRP side of the house for this street.
So, Atlanta, they're both day.
Okay.
Both going to be like about noonish in race time. However, Kansas, they're both night races. So that one, I'm hoping that one will be a lot more fun. Yes, it's going to be difficult to pass still because everybody's going to, for the first couple laps after a restart or a start, they're going to be, hugging that bottom lane. And then it's, at least in the BRP series, I'm almost guaranteeing it's going to migrate to the top. And I will be the first one up there. I do not care. I love, rim riding it all the way around the track, especially at places like Kansas. It keeps you honest, let me tell you. It's definitely makes you more alert, and it's a different animal than running the bottom. The trucks last season, it didn't go up there as fast as I had wanted it to. So, and at Kansas, I've never figured out after a couple laps, I've never figured out how to run the bottom consistently, because even back in the heat days, it's I always went up there, and it just felt better up there, so like I said, I've never been able to figure out how to run that bottom consistently. Last season I had to a little bit, but somehow I won that race. I don't even remember. I think that one came down to a fuel mileage, I believe, actually.
Yeah, and, I think it did.
And so, yeah, that's why I was running the bottom.
I was forced to.
But no, it is a fun track when the conditions are right. Obviously, if it's slick, you won't see me up there until it starts tightening up a little bit. Them tires start gaining a little bit of grip. Because it's funny how much I have grown as a driver, because thinking about in the past, like, especially, I know that they're two different entities, but I don't want to say games because iRacing is not a game, it is a simulation, and if you call it a game, you can get what.
You sound like every flight simmer in the world, or every true flight simulator pilot in the world right now after Microsoft Flight Sim dropped their new game. And yes, I said game because it is a fantastic simulation, but because it is being launched also on the console, there are going to be people that game on it, and it is used as a game test bench. So, there, I would say iRacing kind of falls on the simulation side of the fence, but barely.
Yeah.
Similar to how how Flight Sim is with the whole subscription culture you're getting with games these days. I can easily see where somebody blurs this into the game realm in their book.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then you've got people that just nothing is a simulation and everything is just a game to them. But no, I mean, it is a simulation. I mean, as much as I piss and moan about the tires, and everything else, it is the closest that you can get it is the closest you can get to sitting in a race car without sitting in a race car.
Correct.
And, or sitting in a race team simulation.
Yeah, with the whole moving cockpit setup and everything. Yeah.
Right, and there are people that have that. Hamlin, when they were doing the iRacing series, Pro Invitational series for NASCAR, when everything was shut down early on this year, he had one of those, and
yeah, and he the thing is, he went out and bought one just for that.
Yeah, he did. He dropped like $40,000 on it, man. It must be rough, let me tell you.
Oh, I know.
But no, but no, like as I was saying, it's funny how, I look back and, in NASCAR heat, I could not drive a tight race car. And I still can't. I'll still piss and moan about it the entire time. But, at Kansas, I would loosen that thing up so much to where it was just about to spin out, and that's how I made my lap times. I would abuse the shit out of that right rear tire. Well, here on iRacing, it is very, very sketchy when you're running up there and then all of a sudden, your back end breaks loose. And so it. As I was saying, though, it's obviously, like I said, they're two different entities, but you become a little more cautious on here than you do on like NASCAR heat and all that good stuff. Just for that sole purpose, because as me and you both know, you mess up that right side and you are done. So
yeah, I mean, and the thing that NASCAR Heat and NASCAR Inside Line and those games never really had was the sense that if you crash, you're out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't matter how hard you turned up the simulation on those things and the damage modeling, you always had a chance to fix it.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas in this, I mean, yes, we do run with quick repairs as an option, but you can blow a motor. You can pop a tire. You can dislodge a tire if you hit the wall hard enough. Like, there is a real sense of, like, well, most people should have a real sense of, I need to preserve this car as if it's actually a car. Like, I cannot just go beat the fenders off of it and go run the quickest lap time next lap.
Right. Oh yeah, and prime example, this morning I had the day off from work, and this morning I decided to jump on, and lo and behold, the Xfinity series on the official races were at Auto Club, my favorite track. I was like, sweet, I'll do an official race for the first time in a month, and Um, so I jump in there, and it was, oh God, it was god awful tight. You know, we still ran into that same issue that we did a couple weeks ago when we ran there. You know, you really had to kind of baby it around the track a little bit the first lap and a half.
Right.
Um, but then, you know, it we ran. I think it was like 32 laps, and it went green the entire race. I was really impressed. Um, but that moment where you want a caution and it doesn't happen, um, because you tag a wall, um, it really sucks. But anyways, so um, you know, we're we're running, and I've got the leaders in my sights. I'm about 2 seconds behind them, and you know, I'm in between him, second place, and then there's like a group of 4 cars that are right in front of me racing side by side, and I'm just kind of hanging here waiting for it to kind of get single file before, because obviously, you know, I'm not going to make it 3 wide. You know, I in those races that nobody can ever make it 3 wide and make it. Um, you know, somebody somewhere will mess up. But anyways, so you know, I'm just biding my time, and then you know, I'm trying different lines, seeing what works, what doesn't. Um, you know, and then off of 4, uh, I'm like right in the tire tracks of the dude in front of me on the outside, and I follow him up into the wall, barely tag it, and from then on, I was about. It looked like almost 10 mile an hour slower down the
Oh,
straightaways. I mean, people were just, they would, you know, yes, they were in my draft, but,
but that's just
you know,
demoralizing when they go past you and you can't catch them.
oh my God. And it's not even that. Like, you can watch them in your mirror just gaining on you down the straightaways. You're faster, and you know you're faster than them in the corners. But as soon as you get on them straightaways, you know, and it's not like at the end of the straightaways. It was, you know, if it was on the front stretch, it was before the line. There were, you could visually see them catching you, and then same thing on the back stretch, you know, and uh, but yeah, no, it. So basically, you know, that's a very good example of how the damage models are here, and you know, it may not tighten you up every single time, you know, like at Vegas. Um, I think my I think I had gotten loose at one point and um, kind of, you know, tagged the wall slightly with my right rear quarter panel, um, and I think that's what gave me my looseness, um, you know, and so um, you know, it, like I said, every hit is different. You know, sometimes if you hit it, if you clobber that thing and you hit both wheels, um, yeah, that's probably going to tighten you up. It's going to tighten you up, and it's going to make you slower down the straightaways. Um, but if you catch that right rear quarter panel, um, you know, because at that point you're not only affecting the arrow and that the corner of that vehicle, but you're also affecting the angle of your spoiler. You know, and when you're going around a corner, you know, you want that spoiler up as high as it can go for downforce, what little bit of downforce those cars have to begin with. And, you know, when that angles back, you're taking that downforce away, and it's making you looser, more loose, you know? Um, so that area of the car is very, very sensitive, um, on iRacing as well as in real life. With that said, you know, um, hopefully Phoenix was just kind of a fluke. We get some better racing going on. Um, you know, we've got 2 more weeks and then we're off for 2 weeks. So I really don't want to start my hour off weeks in a bad freaking mood.
Yeah.
Because I will turn into the Grinch real quick on Christmas.
Yep. Yeah, we
But
need more races like we've had in the truck series here. System wide. I don't. We're gonna get a couple cautions. It happens. You got people fighting for the same space, but maybe early in the race we need to all, give a little.
right.
If that guy behind you's faster, maybe give him room to get past you early in the race. At the same time, if you're the faster one, don't stuff your nose into a corner where you shouldn't be.
Yeah. And we all make mistakes.
100%.
But at the same time, like, you just gotta people have to be aware of their surroundings. If you are holding a guy up and he's working on it, passing you, not only are you affecting their tires, but you're affecting yours as well because you're racing them harder. And, and then that's only going to hurt you guys in the long run. There were multiple times in the BRP series last week where, I was faster than people, and then, they would pinch me down, on the outside and kill my momentum, and it's just like, it's way too early for this. You're just going to get dumped. You know what I mean? I mean, realistically, whether it's on purpose or not.
You're running the risk of, if you pinch somebody down, like at Phoenix, for example, but this could be other tracks. It's like, okay, if you pinch somebody down on the exit of 4, and if they lose it, they might not be trying to get into you, but if they lose it because they don't have room to catch it, especially early on, now you're putting yourself at risk to being taken out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, everybody has the take, available to them, the ability to take, but very few people have the ability to give, and that's what people need to work on. You can't win races on the first lap, 10 laps into a race. I can understand, stage breaks, getting closer to those. I can totally understand that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's points racing right there.
Yeah.
There's points on the line, and as we saw even last year in the trucks, or last season in the trucks, just a couple of points could be all the difference.
Right. But, but then after that, it's like, calm down. You've still got 3/4 of the race left. And especially in the BRP series, I haven't really seen that many issues in the trucks yet. But, the BRP series, I mean, people, they got to be smart in this, that we only allow one quick repair in that series. And some people, they burn it up really, really early last week, and then it's funny how when people are forced to use their quick repair, then they kind of figure out that giving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the loss of their truck, or their car, I guess at this point, because there's no quick repair, it feels a lot more like you're not Superman anymore.
Right. So, yeah, I just, top 3 things. I strongly encourage everybody to go read the rule book, for one. Not the whole thing. You don't need the whole thing. Most of that's there for us, especially points and stuff like that. But go read the rule book.
Yeah, it's the entire book, including the cover page, including the table of contents, and the disclaimer at the end, is 12 pages.
Yeah.
Of that, there's probably only 4 pages in the entire book you actually need to understand, like front to back.
Yeah.
If that.
And then, you know, the give and take. You know, there's a time and a place to take, and there's a time and a place to give. And most of the time, especially early on, the time is to give, you know, not to take. You know, if you see somebody on a short run faster than you, let them go, because odds are they're just burning up their tires. You're going to catch them in 10 laps. You know, so, and then, you know, we got off track and I forgot the third one, but, yeah, so we'll end it with 2, unless the third one comes back to me, and it was good too, and I don't remember what it was now.
The train has left the station.
Oh, the train never came to the station.
That's honestly the week that I'm having right now, and it is Monday when we're recording this.
Right. Pretty much.
So, yeah.
But, yeah, you know, like I said, you know, people just got to be smart. They got to pay attention, you know, and yeah, it's not going to come back to me. So,
you know, it was worth a shot. It was worth a shot.
Yep. Yep. So, yeah, you know, so we'll see. You know, after, we'll see next week's episode, how both of us are feeling after that. Hopefully it's more positive than negative stuff, but, you know, we shall see.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Atlanta. I mean, it was a heck of a time last year, but I honestly enjoy those races when you've actually got to drive a little bit, you know, because then it makes every spot feel a little bit better.
Yeah, you know, it really does.
When you have to earn every spot that you're holding on to at the end of the race, it feels good.
Yeah, yeah, you know, and it is kind of, you know, goes back to last week, you know, in the BRP series. You know, when I hit that streak of bad luck the second half of the race, you know, I thought my night was over, you know, done. You know, and I 100% agree, you know, it didn't give up, just kept digging. May have been seeing red for most of that, but, you know, it ultimately resulted in an 8th place finish. So, you know, I can't complain, and it feels like a win. You know, so, you know, yeah, it you know, it's exactly what you said. You know, it feels so much better when, you know, you have to work for it, really. You know, I mean, you know, even going back to last season, there was a few races that I won that were just snooze fest, you know, and it's like, you know, I didn't really have to try, you know, but, you know, I don't know, it makes things more interesting when you earn it, you know, when you have to work for it, you know, you gotta get them elbows up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Homestead. when your palms start getting sweaty, you know, and that adrenaline's going, you know, and yeah, it's there's no feeling like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're sitting there, I mean that'd be Bristol, honestly, for me, even though I spun the hell out.
Yeah.
For me though, it's like, you know, if that last 10 laps, it's like, okay, it's like I've worked all damn race. I have no business being up here necessarily in terms of the way I've been doing in speed, but because I've gotten this far at this point in the race, every extra spot's just gravy on the hard work I put in all race long.
Right. Yeah, so, um, but like I said, hopefully next week, um, will be better.
Yes.
This week, I should say, will be better. You know, it, there's a few races after last week. There's a few races this season that I'm a little nervous about, but, um, thankfully, they're on the second half of the season for the most part. So hopefully everybody by then will be, um, used to running around each other, and who they can and can't run around. So hopefully by then, anyways. There's, Martinsville is one that I'm very, very worried about.
Yes.
And
Thankfully, that is not coming up until after the holiday break.
yes, it's
So,
February 24th and 5th. So I mean, um, and I love that track, and I don't want to sit around under caution for, you know, 150 of the 200 laps.
oh,
You know what I
absolutely
mean?
not.
So, but
Pacing at Martinsville is terrible
yes,
because they add an extra lap because of how small the track is.
right.
So, all right. Well, I guess on to predictions for Atlanta.
Ooh. Well, first off, I don't think either one of us were right. Who did we say last week?
Of course, I don't have this written down, but I know I wasn't right. I think I had. No, that's what I had. I had Henrata for the BRP series, which clearly didn't work out. Um, and in the trucks, I went. Didn't I go for the trucks on the repeat, or was it the other way around?
I think it was the trucks.
Because if I had Henrata for the trucks, I almost had it.
Yeah, yeah,
But I don't. I want to say I didn't have him on trucks. I had him for the BRP series, and I went for the repeat on the trucks.
yeah. And I almost had it because I know that I called on Clark, for um, the BRP series, I believe, and yeah, he was looking. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say I almost had it because I don't remember where he finished, but, um, he was looking strong early on.
Right.
He ended up taking that stage win and everything. So, um,
No,
yeah, but
I had to have had Henrata in the trucks because California never took place.
right,
Maybe I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the end of last week's episode to figure it out. At this point,
right,
I don't care.
yeah,
All I know is didn't get it right, so we're all. I think
yeah,
we're both 0-0 on the season.
probably. We'll just leave it at that. But, yeah, predictions. So I guess we'll start with the BRP series. Um, you know, trying to think of who was really fast last week. Um,
Oh, at Auto Club.
no, at Phoenix. All right. You know what? Um, I'm gonna say Mr. Jake Anderson is gonna get the win at Atlanta in the BRP series,
Jake Anderson. All right.
and then for the trucks, because he is getting faster. And then for the trucks, as much as I feel like I should root for my teammate. Sorry, Hanrada, but you suck at saving tires. I've
Yeah,
got to
but this
go.
tire model doesn't penalize you as hard as it used to.
Oh man, it's Atlanta. I don't think you're going to get penalized. Um, yeah. Let's see. For the trucks, I'm going to say if Clark makes the race, I think he will get it.
That's a solid pick.
Yeah, I think that's going to be my pick. I think he's going to get it. He's really seems to have these mile and a halves down. If he can avoid trouble, which he's kind of had a little bit of bad luck like I have this season. But at least he's got a win.
Yes.
So what about you?
All right, BRP series. I'm going with Derek Paulson. He performed really well at Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Another mile and a half. He's our points leader. I think he's going to get his second win of the season. And I see no reason why not anyway.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid pick.
And in the trucks, man. Part of me wants to say Henrada just to prove you wrong, but he's going to probably burn his tires up.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If
he's
in
good.
The right,
I mean, he's
the
good
right
in a short. If we get into a short run situation, look out.
And I mean, he has no issue making it 3 wide anywhere. It's like I said, if he can catch it at the right place at the right time, and he's towards the front on a short run to the end, I wouldn't count him out for any reason.
See, you went Clark Jenikin.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Brandon Knoffel.
Okay.
Because he's in the past as long as I remember now. I picked Brandon, I think, last time.
Yeah, and
because
he didn't race last week.
He did not. So I'm going to reuse my pick for Brandon if he shows up.
There you go.
Yeah. Because last season he performed well late in the season on those mile and a half tracks. Vegas, he finished second right behind your pick, Clark Jenikin. I think as long as he keeps it clean on pit road, I think he's got a chance.
So, I am going to pick 2 for the trucks. Only because if Clark does not race, because he did not race last week either. So if he does not race again this week, he will be my first pick if he races. If he does not, you know what? I'm going for it. I'm going with Bledsoe.
All right.
Yep.
I could see that.
I don't know. Something, yes, it's left a bad taste in my mouth at Texas, but it's another mile and a half. He got his first win there. He was super aggressive. I don't have to deal with him. So.
That's the reason you want to see him get in my way. Okay. Well, if we're going for 2 picks, I've got to come up with one now.
Just in case,
yeah.
they don't race.
Sure.
Because you just said Knoffel, right?
Yeah, and he wasn't at Phoenix, so.
Yeah, and I think that may have been because of shit. I forgot about Senzi. I didn't pick Senzi.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Doghouse now. I guess I'm gonna have to pick Senzi.
There you go. Yeah, he. I guess we got to throw a shout out to him. Because he did it for me. He got married, and they were out on their honeymoon and stuff. So that's why he missed last week's race, and they just got back tonight, I believe. So, yep. No, I sorry, Senzi. I completely forgot. But yeah, man, congrats. Enjoy it. It's all downhill from here.
But, congratulations for sure.
Yeah, but one thing I've got to shout out here, or talk about real quick. I have not been this excited for add-ons on iRacing since I started on iRacing. First off, they're adding, I believe in 2 days on Wednesday. Just a heads up, everybody who's listening and runs in the league, if it is on Wednesday, be sure to keep updated with that, because obviously you have to update before you can race. So give
plan
yourself
accordingly.
Absolutely, because I feel like it's going to be a pretty decent size one. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. Not only are they adding the big blocks and the 358s, um, the modifieds for the dirt cars, which I am very excited about, and I hope that iRacing did not screw up. But they are also adding a track that is literally 5 minutes down the road from my house. And that track is Cedar Lake Speedway. It is a dirt track. I went there, me and the wife went there for the World Outlaws doubleheader back on July 4th weekend, and it was a blast. And that track I am so looking forward to running on. It is fast. It has banking. And it's narrow down the straights. Like I said, it's going to be a blast. Not to mention you got them big ass white tractor tires that
Nice.
you got to watch out for. So, yes, I am 100% super excited about that. So, but like I said, hopefully they don't screw it up. But other than that, I think that is everything. We've covered pretty much. We yet again a lot of controversy, a lot of hurt feelings. So hopefully it gets better here pretty soon. We're still. I think we're in that sophomore slump right now. As a league in general. Because we had such a great first season, but you got to kind of take into consideration we had on average about 10 to 15 cars per race, or trucks rather.
That were regulars, yeah.
Yeah, so and it's a lot easier to get used to running around that many cars or trucks than it is twice that number in either series. So I think we had a little bit too high of expectations this season. But hopefully we get there, and I feel like we can. So, otherwise, I might retire full time and just do part time and race control. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, next 2 weeks we got some intermediates, mile and a halves. And that's the bread and butter of this type of racing. Hopefully everything kind of can calm down before we get into the interesting start to 2021, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Running into the All-Star weekend.
Right.
There's going to be a few interesting tracks on the agenda.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of races that I'm really looking forward to. So it's just a matter of if we can get our crap together beforehand to make them fun.
Correct.
So, but with that said, it's been fun. It's been real, and we will see y'all next week.
Yeah. The brain is shutting down, I think, for the night.
Yep. Time
So
has.
that is going to do it for me, I think, for this episode.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Yep. This has been the ASMR Pit Pass.